And before I say this, I'm a former Liberal leader. Everyone has these former leaders who come out and make these pronouncements, and then, everyone says, oh, they're trying to make policy and all this stuff. No, 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 no. I just want to express a point of view, right? I'm an individual who's driving on a freeway. I want to put a point of view. It's not policy. It won't be, I'm very sure. But why do we, where the vast majority of road accidents and trauma occur in built-up areas, where you have expressways where there's no traffic facing each other, why are we doing 110 where most of Europe is doing 120 to 130? Where Canada, similar to Australia in how spread out we are in their provinces, like our states, are examining 130. Our roads are built for 130. And I thought about this when I was driving up there because Bill...
You're driving up the Hume, I assume.
I was.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about secondary roads like the Waterloo Road from Moe to Yarragon. I'm talking about the Princess Freeway on the other side of the railway. I'm talking about roads that could handle it, that are separated. And Bill has previously raised this as an MP up in Wodonga about why are we being penalised, or why, in their view, and it has been raised by people up there in the border with me.
You reckon we should do 120 or 130 on roads like the Hume or perhaps the Geelong Road?
Well, I'm not sure about the Geelong Road, but certainly roads like the Hume that were built for 130, 120 should certainly not be unreasonable. The safest cars ever.
But what's the benefit? I mean, if you are increasing the risk, for what benefit?
Well, for people up there, it is time, it is convenience. They think it is, you're doing 2Ks every 1 minute. You can time things easier. And I guess it's easy for us here in a built-up area in Melbourne to say, oh, well, we'll tell them how they should drive and how they should think. I'm not talking about those smaller roads.
No,
I'm talking about those expressways.
So how long did it take you to come from Albury to Melbourne,
Well, with my cruise control set at 110, I took one of my colleagues back, Tim Smith, and we got to his office in Kew in about 3 hours and 20 minutes.
So if you were able to do 120, you would only got there 2 minutes earlier.
That's not. I know people will say that, but that's not the point. I mean, if it was all about, if that's the entire view, then we may as well sit on 60 everywhere we go. I mean, what's the point of doing anything different? My point is that this is an issue for people in the border. This is an issue for people in Geelong who say, why is the Geelong Road 100, not 110? And yes, I looked at figures in relation to car accidents. 30% are nose to tail. Well, that's not going to be on a freeway. 25% are failure to give way. Again, that's vast majority of those are not going to be on an expressway. Hitting a stationary object, well, now there's those wire rope barriers. You're driving through a tunnel, in effect. 11% collision while reversing, and then 5% is hitting an animal. Well, I understand that's going to be on a range. I mean, I've hit kangaroos near Wandong on back streets, back roads.